2 million years ago, if you wanted a drink of water, you had to gamble with your life. You'd creep down to the edge of a river, scan the reeds, scan the grass, scan the water itself, and even then, you'd probably miss the thing that killed you. Your ancestors were not the strongest animal on the savanna. They were not the fastest. They were not even close to the deadliest. For almost the entire history of our species, we were not the predator. We were the prey. And the things that hunted us are far worse than anything sitting in a zoo today. So what actually killed early humans? Not warfare, not starvation, not most of the time. The fossil record tells a different story, written in tooth marks, talon punctures, and bite radius. Scientists have spent decades piecing together exactly which animals hunted our ancestors and how. And the answer starts somewhere you'd never expect. Not on the ground, in the sky. In 1924, a skull was pulled out of a lime quarry in South Africa. It belonged to a 3-year-old Australopithecus africanus, a species that walked upright but had a brain barely a third the size of yours. Scientists called it the Taung child. And for almost 80 years, nobody understood what killed it. The skull had strange punctures near the eye sockets. For decades, researchers assumed a leopard did it, or maybe a saber-toothed cat. Then, in 2006, paleoanthropologists Lee Berger and Ronald Clark took a closer look. And what they found changed everything. The damage matched almost exactly the talon marks left by modern crowned eagles when they kill primates. Crowned eagles are still alive today, hunting the forests of West Africa, and they still do this. They swoop down, silent, and drive their talons directly into the skull. Researchers studying the Thai forest in Ivory Coast have documented these eagles killing monkeys nearly the size of a small child, over and over again. For a 3-year-old hominid, walking upright, looking straight ahead, an eagle diving from above was invisible until it was already too late. Scientists now believe this kind of predation was common enough to shape how early hominids moved in groups, and even how they slept. You didn't just have to watch the grass, you had to watch the sky. But the sky was the easy part. On the ground, things got so much worse. In the 1980s, a paleontologist named C.K. Brain was digging through Swartkrans Cave in South Africa when he pulled out a fossil skull with 2 puncture holes in the back, spaced exactly the width of a leopard's lower canines. He held a leopard jaw up to the skull. It fit perfectly. This wasn't an isolated case. Swartkrans Cave held the remains of over 60 early hominids, and the pattern was everywhere. Skulls with puncture wounds, limb bones with tooth-scored ends. The same signature repeated again and again. Researchers now call it, without much affection, the killer cave. And leopards weren't even the worst of it. There was another predator stalking the same landscape. An extinct saber-toothed cat called Dinofelis. Built almost exactly to the proportions of a creature evolved to hunt primates. Some researchers nicknamed it the man-eater. Big cats like these didn't chase their prey across open ground. They didn't need to. They climbed trees, they waited in the dark, and they struck once, directly at the skull or the throat, because a fight was the last thing they wanted. For over 1 million years, night in Africa meant something specific to your ancestors. It meant a cat was close, and you would probably never see it before it saw you. But at least a cat hunted alone. What came next hunted in numbers. Pachycrocuta brevirostris, the giant short-faced hyena, stood as tall as a large dog and weighed close to 200 pounds, nearly twice the size of hyenas alive today. It didn't just scavenge. It hunted in packs, and its jaw could crack open bones that would shatter a modern hyena's teeth. Fossil sites across Europe and Asia show its bite marks on hominid bones dating back over 1 million years. A single leopard was a threat you might survive. A pack of animals that size, working together, cutting off escape routes, was something else entirely. This is likely one of the reasons early humans clustered so tightly around fire. It wasn't just about light. It was about odds. 1 human in the dark was a meal. 20 humans around a flame were a problem not worth the risk. And even the place you needed most to survive, water, wasn't safe either. Every single day your ancestors had to go to the water's edge because there was no alternative. And crocodiles knew it. Nile crocodiles can lie motionless for hours, indistinguishable from a log, and then close a 20-foot gap in under a second. They don't chase. They wait for you to come to them, and then it's already over. Paleontologists have found hominid bones with crocodile bite patterns at sites in Kenya and Tanzania dating back over 1 million years. Evidence that the most routine act of survival, drinking, was also one of the deadliest. There was no version of your ancestors' life where they could avoid the water. So there was no version of their life where this threat ever really went away. And here's what's strange. You can still feel all of this. Psychologist Lynn Isbell has spent years studying why humans and other primates react to snakes faster than almost anything else on Earth. Faster than cars, faster than guns, faster than anything modern life actually kills us with. Her research suggests our entire visual system, the size of our eyes, the wiring of our brains, may have been shaped by millions of years of needing to spot a predator before it struck. That flinch you feel looking at a spider, that jump when something moves fast at the edge of your vision, that's not irrational. That's a program written 1 million years before you were born, still running, still trying to keep you alive on a savanna that doesn't exist anymore. But here's the part that should actually unsettle you. Eagles, leopards, hyenas, crocodiles, none of them are the reason you're sitting here right now able to watch this. Because somewhere around 300,000 years ago, something changed. Early humans stopped being hunted as often, not because the predators left, but because we got better at killing than they were. We built spears. We hunted in coordinated groups. We used fire as a weapon, not just a shield. And once we were no longer anyone's prey, the deadliest predator our ancestors ever faced stopped being an animal at all. It became the tribe on the other side of the hill, because unlike a leopard, another human could plan. Another human could wait. Another human could look exactly like something safe, right up until it wasn't. For almost 3 million years, staying alive meant watching the grass, the water, the sky, and eventually, each other. You are only here, existing at all, because every single one of your ancestors, everyone, won that gamble every single time. One loss anywhere along that chain, and you would not exist. You're not just descended from survivors, you're descended from the luckiest chain of survivors in the history of this planet. And somewhere inside you, that old watchfulness never actually left.